Hey, welcome to this episode of Mark Menendez Bass TV. Spring has sprung. Everything's green, it's pretty, everything's shallow. Flipping sticks, lizards, space monkeys, spinnerbaits. That's what I've got tied on. Little old school fishing. Stay with us here on Mark Menendez Bass TV. We're going to show you how to catch some today.
It's the first week of May on Kentucky Lake, and the water has risen into the bushes. With bass in all stages of the spawn, and some shad spawning as well, it could be a feast in the shallow waters. Even though Kentucky Lake is famous for ledge fishing, Mark and other anglers are always excited for the rising water to flood the shallows. Mark has elected to take his Skeeter boat to the back of a major creek, where flooded willow trees and bushes await.
It's good. Looks like the lake's come up a little bit. That always helps when you're back here in the bushes and the trees and stuff. Doesn't take but just a little rise to get them to go on and commit to the bushes. A little fall pulls them out, so you got to watch that water level real close. Well, that was a pretty bite there. Piece of dark something right there. Good way to get started. Oh, he's all spotted up too. Oh, tail's all black. Come on, big guy, get up here with us. Good keeper bass to get started. Look, you got polka dots all over him. Got the old Tour Grade Spinnerbait. That was a good bite. There's something black right there in the water. There we go. You see, I got him with both hooks. I got him with a trailer hook, which I always put on a spinnerbait. Well, that's a good way to start my morning. How about that? I'm liking that. On the old spinner bug. Nothing wrong with a spinnerbait bite. He came off of that dark spot right there. I don't know what that is. If that's some water willow coming up, that's what that is. It's a piece of water willow. How about that? Nice. The one thing about a spinnerbait that's so cool, when they come and get it, it's like everything is in slow motion, and that's exactly the way that bite was. One of the things I love about a spinnerbait, when you see them coming or they come up and get it, it's a good bite. It's a good way to get started. Got so many targets back here. Where do I pick? Well, the most likely targets are the ones that are in the mouths of the little drains. You've got that whole forest of buckbrush there. Then you've got this one cypress tree that sits out here by itself. That's where I'm anticipating my bite. I'm gonna have to make a good cast. Look at there, dropped it right beside that bush. Interrupted what I was saying. How about that? There's another keeper bass right there. Get up here. He got a tail down his throat. Just came up and sideswiped it. Tour Grade getting them this morning. How about that? Love that spinnerbait bite. I mean, he is welded on there. I'm gonna have to get a pair of pliers just to get him out. Doggone. Old post-spawn fish, his tail's rough. A 15-incher. How about that? One little pocket, 2 bites. Man, the lake has gotten better. Just gotten so much better. How about that?
The flooded bushes and trees on Kentucky Lake has not disappointed. In just a few short minutes, Mark has caught 2 keeper bass on his Tour Grade Spinnerbait. The largemouth are on the feed and super active with the high water. There's a pattern within a pattern that Mark wants to figure out. It's finding the right bush or the right tree that is holding fish. We'll jump back in the boat with him as he continues tossing his blade into the bushes.
Had me kind of handcuffed. These dudes are chomping a spinnerbait this morning. Golly, that was a good bite. Not even a really big fish, it's another 15-incher, but goodness gracious, did he eat that spinnerbait. You know, if you notice, my spinnerbait's a little different than my typical springtime spinnerbait that I've been throwing. I normally like a big giant spinnerbait, like a hack attack with a big blade on it, put a big rage grub on the back of it, but I haven't. This is a Tour Grade Spinnerbait. It's a smaller, a little more compact spinnerbait. It's got a number 4 willow, number 4 willow, 4.5 willow on it, and it's relatively a smaller bait. What I want is a bait that's fast moving right now. I don't want long trailers, great big baits for those fish to just come up and nip at. I want them to get a bite to eat, defend their young. That's what a lot of them are doing. They're garden fry right now. So this little bit smaller spinnerbait is a better choice. Plus the willow leaf blades, I can move at a quicker rate of speed and make more presentations, just like this outside bush right here. Right there. I thought we'd get us a bite right there. But this smaller bait's just a little bit better way to go right now, since these fish are zeroed in on guarding their fry, they're guarding their bed. I've kind of got a bluegill color on here, a lot of chartreuse, a little bit of orange in it. So that smaller blade combination and smaller baits, the better way to go right now to get more bites. Bitty guy. A little peanut in the yellow flowers. Again, look here. No, he got the whole thing. I thought that was gonna be a trailer hook fish. I thought that was gonna be a little trailer hook fish. How about that? He got the whole scamoli. Wow, it's pretty fast action here, I'm telling you. Ooh, yellow flowers. What's left of them. I was gone to a couple of events in Florida when the yellow flowers were at their glory. So I didn't get to fish many of them. So it's nice to catch one out of the old yellow flower that's still left. All I know is they are liking a spinnerbait bite this morning. There's some fry on the end of the other side of that tree. The last piece of cover out here, that's always a good one. There he is, right where he should have been. Right on the outside tree. That was the perfect place for that little guy. Good looking little fish. Good looking fish. Stop this thing, I'm gonna make a flip or two. There's probably another fish right there. That one crunched it. Little one, there he came back and got it, he nipped it once. A little trailer hook fish. He just nipped it, got behind it. Man, I'm still just so excited to see how many non-keepers we have in the lake and what kind of condition they're in. They're in great shape. We're 2 years away from having a largemouth lake that is stellar again. We've got great smallmouth in the lake, we know that, but this largemouth population is really coming. A spinnerbait, when you're moving it fast, you're going to miss some fish. They just don't get it, they come flash on it, they're behind it, they're not really wanting to eat it, they just hit at it to push it out of their way, whatever the reason is. But I have figured over my time of fishing that if I can get some of those fish in a boat, obviously my creels go up. So I fish a trailer hook 100% of the time on a spinnerbait. And what size trailer hook is a key. I need a trailer hook that'll reach out there and get one from distance, but I need a trailer hook that's not going to give me a hard time in cover. So with a 1/2 ounce and a 3/8 ounce bait, depending on the size of the bait, I'm generally using a 2/0 or a 3/0 gamakatsu. Anything, a 3/4 ounce size bait, I'll go ahead and I'll use that bigger bait or bigger hook. but it sticks back there and I can still get it in and around the cover. Yes, does the trailer hook cost me some presentation? Sure it does. But the overall end is that I get more fish in the boat with a trailer hook, particularly when they just come bump my spinnerbait. When they don't eat it good, they just come bump it. So trailer hook is the way to go. It's the only way I'll fish one. I highly recommend it for your fishing too.
The morning spinnerbait bite is taken off quickly. Several keeper bites have come from flooded bushes and willow trees, almost exclusively on a spinnerbait. Mark has been fishing fast to cover water, but will also try to extend the bite until the sun starts getting up. As soon as that happens, the bites may slow, and he'll have to go to an alternative technique or area.
Well, we have marginal water right now. We're right at summer pool, 359. I always like it better at 360 in the bushes. It gives the fish more room in the bushes, a little more water. So what I'm going to start looking for are bushes that have got an extra 6 to 10 inches of water on them, or something that sits out just a little further off the bank. And two of those clues are, one, willow trees, just like that one right there, or cypress trees that we just caught the last fish off of. Most of the time, those are in just a hint deeper water than the buckbrush grows. These buckbrush bushes right here are on a real shallow flat, and I'm not getting bit like I thought I should. So I'm gonna go and try to find some just slightly deeper water. Not a lot deeper. 6 to 8 inches will be all I need. And that can be found by running the mouths of these little ditches like we started in, or fishing further out towards the main lake. You may find a little bit deeper water in bushes like that. Just singular bushes that are out there by themselves. We might get a bite here, but I don't anticipate it being a good fish. Here's one. Oh, that was pretty. He just eased up there and nipped it. I bet this is a trailer hook fish. Oh yeah, look at that. That's the reason for the trailer hook. All I saw was, look how white that fish is. All I saw was that mouth just come up there and just go. Didn't hit it hard like the other ones have. That's 15 incher right there. That was pretty. Rolling that spinnerbait up next to the bush, and all I see is trailer hook strikes again. It just pays to have that Gamakatsu trailer hook on there. Just pays. I go through a lot of them in a year's time. That was pretty. And we're in about an extra 8 or 10 inches of water from where we were. When you've got these fluctuating water conditions, it makes all the difference to be in that slightly deeper water. I'm talking about 15 inches to 24 inches deep. That's the change, 6 inches. That's all I'm talking about. That's all those fish need to feel comfortable. This is some old school 1978 fishing right here. This is fun. I haven't done this in a long time. I'm just able to push through and power and make a lot of presentations. We moved across this big bay that we're in, and just I'm running water, just running new water. I'm searching for more of that depth change. This is real flat over here, so I'm going to key on the ends of whatever I've got to key on. And for me right now, it's the water willow. You can see that little bit of water willow. In between all these buckbrush and stuff, there's little spots of this water willow, and that's key stuff right now. It's got a hint more water on it than what the buckbrush does. Little fish came up there and got it. That was a pretty little bite too. This is another trailer hooker, I believe. He got red eyes. Get up here. Trailer hook. You can see that's the last two in a row on the trailer hook. The little white fish, he just got up there. Get out of here, Junior. Came out of that last little bit of weed right there. Fish always get on points like that, whether it's a point of this buckbrush that comes out here, a point of the ironweed that sticks out there, the water willow. They get on the very tip of that stuff when that water starts yo-yoing. You know, when you dial in a pattern, you basically have a big area or it's very specific. And what we want to do as bass anglers is dial into the specific idea, so we spend less time on water that's not quite as good as it could be. You look down this bank, boy, all that looks really pretty. You got 2 willow trees, a big buckbrush, 1 willow tree stuck out there. You got this grass line. It looks real good, but it's clean. There's not any natural flowing water coming in here. But the essence of a fisherman, because it looks so pretty, makes you want to keep moving. So you will spend a lot of time looking for that key area. And I'm about ready to pull the plug and go do something completely different based upon the fact I have not caught a big fish yet. I've caught some nice keepers, several nice keepers with this spinnerbait, but I'm going to back up and fish something out here behind me where these females that are traveling in to meet up with the males, or the females that are already done are moving out, we're going to go look, see if we can't find a way to catch some of those fish that are transitioning in or out. And those might be bigger fish. So we're just trying to dial in the pattern with an area and the spot within the spot, and that's what we're after. It's kind of a domino theory, and I want to flick those dominoes and they all go get all 4 of the dominoes down, then we'll be catching better quality fish. But nevertheless, this is really fishy looking stuff back here. Okay, this is the stake bed that I'm looking at right here. I see a fish right there. I see 2 or 3 fish in that stake bed. When you pull up to these right now, all you see is the one PVC pipe. And it's hard to find. You got to fish around, so I'm using forward facing to find the stake bed real quick so I don't waste time. Peanut, Peanut, what are you doing? And look how white this little fish is. He's on his way in to the bank where we just left. Not a mark on him. Not a mark on him. He's on, whoops, sorry about that. He's on his way in. So that's what I'm trying to do by pulling out off the bank here to intercept maybe some better fish coming this way, coming in or going out. And some of the first contact are stake beds.
High skies and a dwindling bite. That's the scenario Mark is faced with now. He still managed to catch a few shallow bass on the spinnerbait, mainly by focusing on shady banks.
That little guy, whoa, where are you going so hot? He's upset. He got the whole bait. This bodes so well for our lake. So many of these good little quality fish will survive, be recruited into a bigger size, and we'll catch them next year when they're 16, 17 inches. Really been an amazing comeback on Kentucky and Barkley Lakes. We're running a shade line here, and we've done that a lot of times on the show, particularly in the fall, to extend a bite, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm still pushing this spinnerbait bite, but I'm doing it where it's lower light. I've got a mile-long shade line here in the back of this pocket, and I've gotten several bites since I've gotten in here, and it's already 11 o'clock. But the shade line keeps fish active. I could go to other areas. In early spring, I'm looking for the most sun I can find, but right now I'm looking for places where these fish will still continue to be active, and a shade line's a great way to do it. I mean, it's 11 o'clock, there's very little wind, and I'm still catching fish on a spinnerbait. So that's just proof in the pudding that it keeps those fish active, or a little more or a little less reluctant, you know, that they'll come on out here and go ahead and eat instead of just let the bait go by. Just a little different thought process, and I'm just trying to keep pushing this, because I still want to catch a good one on a spinnerbait. I love that spinnerbait bite.
Mark is going to go to his bag of tricks. He'll pick up a spinning rod and pair it with a wacky rig, a slower, more methodical presentation. It may not be as fun as fishing the spinnerbait, but it will get bites, especially from fish that don't want to chase something moving.
There we go. Still relating to the shade. Changed techniques, but still relating to the shade. Pick up the old wacky worm for that one. Come here, young man. Good little old chunker. Now this is the way everybody can catch them. Everybody's mom, kid, girlfriend, aunt, uncle can catch them on the whack. Just a little hook right through a perfect plastic finesse worm and just twitch it slowly. But I'm still exploiting shade. You know, a wacky worm, it is just vulnerable. It's just a small hook in the middle of a 6-inch worm, and when it falls so naturally, they can't stand it. Right now, this time of year, it's you're dealing with 3 stages of the spawn. You've got some post spawners that are done spawning, garden fry. You've got some that are spawning, and then you've got some that are thinking about spawning. And like I said, it's its vulnerability. A recent tournament this year, I had 5 that weighed almost 28 pounds at Lake Fork on this silly thing. It is just an absolute great way to catch fish. People that don't have a lot of experience can be successful. Your grandchildren, your kids can be successful, because that's all you got to do is throw it, let it go down, watch your line, hop it a little bit, and if that line turns left or right, it's game on. Smallmouth. How about that? I would expect that back here. It's a late smallmouth to be in the back of a pocket. Come here, young man. Well, caught that one on a wacky worm. I just had to change what I was doing. Our conditions have left us on the spinnerbait bite, so thought I'd sneak in here. I saw a fish move, threw old wacky worm on there, and old smallmouth. How about that? Nice little surprise. Hey, stay with us. Come back and watch us again. We'll teach you a little more about Kentucky Lake, how to catch more fish and catch them when they grow up, bigger than this one, I hope. But we enjoyed having you. Hope you enjoyed what you saw today. Thanks for coming.
Mark Menendez Bass TV is brought to you by Skeeter Boats, Seaguar, Lews, feel the difference, Strike King Lure Company, Power Pole, closed captioning provided by Dying to Fish.